after I started going back to my sister's church, my goal was to not get so caught up in church that I did not focus on my life outside of church, right? When you grow up in church, people make you feel, or the saints make you feel like church is the end all be all, and it is not. So I made sure that if I had something to do on a Sunday, I'm gonna do it. If I was gonna miss out on a Wednesday Bible study, that's just what it is, because I did not want to get caught back into the cycle of going to church, and my life is not producing anything, right? So after a while, I started wanting to sing again, right? I wanted to start singing it because a lot of you, if you don't know, that's something that I have been gifted with since I was a little girl, to just sing, just open up my mouth and just sing, right? And that's all I've ever loved to do, really. So I started back singing, but I had to make sure that that was something that I really actually wanted to do. And I asked, the Most High, like, ease me into this thing, right? So as all of this is taking place, I become more active. I get back into, the praise team. I'm, doing announcements. I'm making sure that the coffee is ready for whatever. But one thing I did say I was not going to do is stand up in that pulpit and preach or teach. Nope, I'm not doing it, because somewhere in my life, can't remember how old I was ordained. A lot of you don't know, I was ordained as elder because people said that that's what you're supposed to do, right? If you're in church, you're supposed to be a preacher, you're supposed to be a teacher, you're supposed to be an elder, you're supposed to be no, they put that on you. Even when you don't want to do it, you still do it because there is something in you that feels like, okay, well, I gotta be obedient. I gotta, and you do it because you want to be a part of what everybody else is doing, right? So I did that, and when I did that, I started to become crummy, just like all the other elders, all the other preachers, all the other ministers, I didn't want that. So I said, I did not want to get back in that pulpit and preach and teach and nothing. I was not doing that. However, when I got back into the habit of singing and everything and just really, really doing it, I started to get right back in the cycle that I was in years before. And I was like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I'm going to sing, and if I'm needed, then I'll be there. But at the same time, I started being overly active, and that's something that I was determined not to do. Now, while all of this is going on, I'm working, I'm taking care of the girls, I'm, doing things that I need to do, but something in me started to dial back on the inside, and I started to see things. I started to notice things that I've always noticed and never wanted to face, and never wanted to admit that this is taking place. So I just made a conscious decision to not, right? And when I say not, I was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. And so then somewhere around there, I met my husband, and things just started to become different, right? Now, I'm the baby of 6, as I said before, I'm the baby of 6, and my entire family, my siblings. They know things about me. I've shared. Actually, me and Sylvia were closer than everyone else. I shared things with her, like we were best friends. And yeah, we were really best friends. But I just went somewhere, so excuse me. However, I started to date my husband, but I didn't say anything to anybody about what I was doing because I wanted to approach this situation differently than what Emma has always approached it, or how she's always approached it. And long story short, there was a question my husband used to ask me when we were dating. He would say, I want to know who Emma is. And every time he would say that, I'd be like, and he would always say, I want to know who Emma is. I want to know who Emma is. It's in the book. It is in here. But Emma did not know who she was. Emma didn't know. And Emma started to realize, hey, wait a minute. I don't know who I am. I don't know, right? So I can't tell you. I couldn't tell him who I was, right? Because I had no clear knowledge or understanding as to who I was. So I started to ask that question. I want to know who I am, because you have to keep in mind, I'm still coming from the mindset of her. Emma is still coming from the mindset of her. Well, everybody said that I was this, and everybody said that I was that, and everybody said that I would never, and everybody said that I needed to, and everybody said that you got to, and if you don't, you gonna go to hell. And so everybody labeled her all of these labels, and she took on those labels as if that was her, and it wasn't. This, when I tell you, was created. It was created by people who really don't even, and still right now, don't have a sense of who they are. We're just all on a cycle, taking on things and forms and transformations that people put on us. That is dangerous. That is dangerous. I don't understand it, but then at the same time, I do understand it. We are in a dangerous time because I know for a fact that you who are watching this do not have a clear understanding or knowledge as to who you are. So I had to go back and figure out who this girl was. I had to go back and figure out what made her this way. I remember one time I was talking to my sister's husband, and I think I mentioned this in another video, that I was talking to my sister's husband and I made the statement, I said, I want to become meek. And if you don't know what meek means, and if you know my grandmother, she is the perfect example of meekness. I wanted to be that because Emma had grown tired of the yelling, the screaming, the cursing, the fussing, the complaining, the resentment, the I don't understand this, and why they do this, and why they act like this. And Emma was tired of that. She was, when she got older, she was tired of that because she never really got an answer to those questions as to why are we like this? Why am I like this? But the life that I went back to review of this girl, it was created because it was a lot of people around, but she still had no one. She still had nobody to lean on and depend on and try to help her figure out this thing, because there's something is wrong. But when everybody thinks that they know what is going on, and again, you find out that they don't have a clue, everybody's lost, right? So she was heavily lost. But the fact that Keith said, Emma, that's not who you are. And at the time, Emma took it and was like, well, yeah, you're right. That's not who I am. No. You can't tell me who I am when you don't know who you are. That goes for anybody. You can't tell me. You can't tell me. So what Emma had to do was get into a space of, I got to know who I am. I need to figure out who I am. And while all of this is going on, the Most High is working. He's working. He's working. He's doing his thing. This thing is deeper than what you can imagine. It's deep. It's really deep. So as I begin to start to search and start to read books, which is something that we do not like to do. We don't like to read. And the scripture says the people perish for the lack of knowledge. We don't want to read anything, but that's another story. When Emma started to read and Emma started to understand that, hold on, Emma was trained. Emma was trained to be this way. Emma was trained to be mean when necessary. Emma was trained to talk back. Emma was trained to yell. Emma had some horrible trainers. But it wasn't until Emma said, no more. No more. And long story short, when Emma started to look at things and question things all the more, Emma started to change some things. Emma became quiet. Emma became very observant. Emma became more soft-hearted. Emma became more calm. Emma became what she's always really in her heart wanted to be, was just a quiet little person, just a quiet person who actually knew what this thing is about and what it has always been, right? But as I was doing that, there were people who had a problem with it. There were people who had a problem with it. And it's okay. It's okay, because when you start to go the opposite direction of others, it is going to become a problem. And like I said, it is okay. So as I begin to learn, as I begin to read, as I begin to obtain knowledge in areas that I had no idea, I decided to do my own thing. But it really wasn't my thing. It was something that the Most High he was creating this path for me to get to here. He created a path for me to write this book so that I could be a helper to you. So that I could show you that it is very easy to lay it all out and confront these ugly things that takes place in our lives, creating us to be who we are: nasty, ugly, messy, dirty, filthy at heart, selfish, covetous, wicked, evil. But here's the thing, we inherited all of that from our ancestors. Us now, we just magnify it. We magnify it. But I had to learn some things to get to the space that I'm in now, so that I can actually help somebody, help some woman, help a mother, help a daughter to mend that relationship, even if it's just going to your mother or your daughter and apologizing and forgiving and leaving it there. right? Leaving it where it is. And a lot of times you have to leave it where it is. You take accountability for what you've done and you right your wrong and you move forward. Whether they apologize and forgive or not, that's on them. But you, as an individual, I was telling my husband, and I'll say this, listen, we all walk around here with individualism. Like everybody is one single person walking around as one single person, but our minds are like one big ball of fungus. One big ball of fungus. And we think we got it all together, and I promise you we do not. I promise you we do not. So she had no one is literally a story from the beginning to the end, to be continued really, because this is just the first. But we have to get to a space where we want to know who we are. We want to know what this thing is that we're in, because at the end of the day, we're going to be held accountable for how we are, how we treat people, how we treat ourselves, and most importantly, how we treat the Most High. No one thinks about that. No one thinks about how they treat the supreme creator of this world, of the trees, of the grass, the fish, the seeds, the birds, of ourselves. We don't give him reverence in the way that we're supposed to, because everybody is doing the same thing, swimming in the same bowl of pus, of goop, of nastiness, and we think that we're okay and we're not. So I had to come back to Dallas to learn all of this and to forgive all of this. You don't forget because you have to tell it. But I had to come back to Dallas because the Most High said there is still some things for you to do. There is something that I need for you to do. It's not just singing, because I'm going to sing. But I need you to start speaking to people. I need you to start telling people. I need you to start relaying my love, my true love and compassion to people, to get them to wake up and understand that life is more than what you think it is. There is a purpose for us all. And we have to be willing to get to that purpose. We have to be willing to move back up here, regardless of the circumstances. You have to be. I remember my mom said to me one day, she said, when you tell the Lord yes, Lord, when you tell him yes, watch your life change. Now, for whatever reason, that's her business. I got a huge hunch, but she said, when you tell Lord yes, watch your life change. But here's the thing. We say things out of our mouths, and sometimes we don't even know that it is the Most High that is using us to tell somebody something. We're saying it to hurt, but the Most High is saying it to heal, right? I didn't understand that then. But when I asked the Most High to tell me who I am, that was me saying yes to the Supreme Creator. I want to know. And me learning me has helped me to learn him. This thing is bigger than what we this thing is bigger than what we think it is. Because when you start to learn you start to learn him, you start to learn truth. And we are supposed to love truth. We have to live in truth. We have to live in truth, and we have to live in honesty, and we have to live as an example to others. So separating yourself is a requirement. But you have to understand, with separating yourself, there is a purpose for us all. And I'm going to end this video, and I'm going to say this. If you need encouragement, if you need to even just know how to start telling your story, this is where you can begin. Again, it's not a money grab. This is to help you. I didn't write all of this for me. I did, but I did not. Writing all of this has freed me. And when we begin to tell our story, when we begin to talk about the things that has hindered us in this life and confront the ugly truths, our life will turn out so much better. I love you all. Like, share, and click the link. Until next time, be favored.